We'll be looking at SohCahToa this lesson. So SohCahToa falls under trigonometry. SohCahToa is a topic that you use to find missing lengths and missing angles in a right angle triangle. I'm going to explain these 4 questions, and then you can have a go at the 6 questions on the following page and see how you get on. So SohCahToa. I've got a right angle triangle involving angles and lengths. I know it's SohCahToa. If it was just lengths, it would be Pythagoras. Step 1, let's get your triangle labelled up. I'm only going to label a length if it's got some bit of information on it. So this length here is opposite my angle, so I call it O, opposite. Then I've got a length that's opposite my right angle is my hypotenuse. I'm not going to put any information on this because it's got no x or a number or an unknown on that length. So what uses O and H? It's sine. So you can kind of use this to help you work out the formula. So it's sine theta. The angle always comes after your sine, cos, or tan, equals opposite over hypotenuse. It's always in that order: adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. Let's just replace all my information. Theta is the angle. Got sine 45. 42. X at the top, 12 at the bottom. How do I make X a subject? How do I get X by itself? How is your reverse divide by 12? I times both sides by 12. Just type all of that into my calculator, and I'm going to round my answer to 1 decimal place. .8. Let's get this triangle labelled up. So we've got, this is the hypotenuse because it's opposite the right angle. This is the adjacent because it's between the right angle and the angle. So it's cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. The angle's 53. There is another video I've done using the slightly different method of using a triangle to put the information in. So whichever way you're familiar with, you can choose which video you feel is more appropriate. Times both. So this is different from the sine question because this time the x is on the bottom of the fraction. Because it's on the bottom of a fraction, we want to, it's just in an awkward position here. So we want to remove it. We'll take it to the other side. The opposite of dividing both sides by x is multiplying both sides by x. If I multiply the left-hand side by x, we get x times cos 53. If I multiply the right-hand side by x, we're just left with 9. Last step, divide both sides by cos 53. Type it in your calculator. X is 14.95, which would round to 15.0. Okay, question 3. Opposite. Oh, we should definitely have an X here. Let me change this to an X. Opposite and adjacent. 7 because opposite my angle, adjacent because it's between both my angle and my right angle. So O and A is TOA, tan 27, I'll put it straight into the formula, equals opposite divided by adjacent, O divided by A. O is at the top, the numerator, A is at the bottom. I'm going to do something similar to question 2 because the X is the denominator of my fraction. So I'm going to times both sides by X. And then divide both sides by tan 27. Type that on my calculator. X is 13.7 or 30, yeah, 13.7. 4 is a little bit different because you have a missing angle. Start by labeling it OH sine. Sine angle, which in this instance is X, equals 8 over 11. Right now, how do I get this X by itself? How do I get rid of that sign? There's a button on your calculator that reverses sine. If you look above sine, you can see sine to the -1. I need to sine to the -1 both sides. If I sine to the -1 the left-hand side, it reverses the sign. I'm left with X. If I sine to the -1, the right-hand side, it kind of looks like this. This is what we would type in our calculator. So shift sign, get you that sign to the -1. In the brackets, can you see that 8 over 11 is in the fraction? I'm just going to type in 8 divided by 11. And it gives you an answer of 46.7 degrees. Okay, have a go at these next 6 questions and can you find X, round all of your answers to 1 decimal place? Put me on pause, unpause when you're done. Okay, I'll just speed through this now. Opposite, hypotenuse, sine. Sine 43 equals opposite, which is 10 over X. X is my denominator again. I need to times both sides by X. Divide both sides by, so that's going to be a 4. Divide both sides by sine 43. And divided by sine 43 is 14.7. Adjacent, hypotenuse, A and H is cos. Cos 54 equals the adjacent, which is X, over hypotenuse, which is 11. 11 is my denominator, so I'm going to just times both sides by 11. Which gives me my X is 11 times cos 54, 6.5. Opposite adjacent, tan. Tan 67, don't forget O divided by A. 8 over X. X is with the denominator, so let me times both sides by X first. Divide both sides by tan 67. X is 3.4. Opposite, hypotenuse, sine. Sine X equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. Want the X by itself, so I'm going to sine to the -1 both sides. Sorry, I should have written that as 9. Sine to the -1, 7 divided by 9 is 51.1. Opposite adjacent, tan. Tan 56 equals X over 10. How do I make X a subject here? Times both sides by 10. x is 14.8. Adjacent hypotenuse, cos x equals 8/12. Divide, no, cos the -1 both sides. Gives you the angle x is 48.2. If you felt like you understood this, you want more of a challenge, maybe watch out for my recordings on sine rule and cosine rule.